So you're going to show us 6 techniques from a psychodynamic perspective. But before we get to show those techniques, let's get to know you a bit more in terms of why you like this approach.
Sure. Well, right now I am a professor and the program director for a clinical mental health counseling program. Not only sort of was I heavily influenced by my own clinical supervisors who were psychodynamically oriented, but when I was a kid, my dad, who was going back to graduate school when I was a kid, would talk all about it.
Wow.
And so I really sort of started viewing people that way. And one of the things that attracts me to the psychodynamic approach is this developmental perspective, the idea that people go through series of developmental stages, that early childhood experiences influence us throughout our lives, and some of the concepts with psychodynamic theory I'm really kind of attracted to.
Yeah. Well, it's not uncommon, it seems like, when we learn about theories, that the theory that fits us best, that helps us most explain our life, is the one that we're drawn to.
Yeah, I would definitely say that I've kind of always been fascinated with this idea that you're in childhood for such a small amount of time, but it has such a profound influence on who we become as individuals.
Right. And there's influence in terms of how you see the world, it sounds
That's
like.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So when you think about psychodynamic, what are the core concepts that come to mind?
I think several core concepts come to mind. I want to highlight that when we sort of teach about this theory, we start with psychoanalysis, which is a far stricter form. Freud and sort of the traditional kind of psychoanalytic ways of viewing things. Psychodynamic has sort of grown up a bit, if you will. It tends to be a briefer form of therapy, but it still gives a nod to looking at unconscious motivations, relational patterns, how our earlier development influences us over the lifespan, resistance, kind of this idea of insight, looking at why we do the things that we do, as well as the strong relationship and connection from counselor to client.
Right. So there's this aspect in terms of looking at its origins, right? So Freud and the kind of the birth of really counseling and therapy. But if we look at modern approaches, maybe it keeps some of the same concepts, but the actual practice is quite different.
Yes, and not only that, but I think that none of us use one particular theory in isolation, and so I find that psychodynamic is a good conceptual lens for me to understand the clients that I'm working with, even if what I'm actually doing in the room might look different. My lens really helps me understand people.
Okay. You mentioned having some exposure with your father. What other kind of training did you receive to better apply psychodynamic theory?
So I had several psychodynamically oriented supervisors. And I think they really helped me realize what a powerful lens it is to sort of really understand people. It's, not necessarily a problem-focused approach. It's broader, and it helps us really look behind a particular problem or issue that a client is presenting with.
Okay.